But when Jesus heard that, he said unto them, They that be whole need not a physician, but they that are sick.
Hey, shalom.
Hey, shalom to the elect.
Shalom to the elect. Rock the all praises to Yahawah, Yahawashi. Double honors to the elders. Barak, to all the elect men out there doing the work. And, you know, I'm Ayathun, and this is Elder Ainab. And basically, the Spirit got on us to do this show. There's going to be a new channel dealing, we're going to call it GMS Physicians. And this is basically just dealing with herbs and the medicines that the Most High gave us. You know, a lot of us, we all get ailments. There's a lot of brothers out there that currently have ailments, so we wanted to do this video because pursuant to the scriptures, the Most High gave us herbs to use. Now, the brother got a scripture he's going to read in Psalms 104 and 14.
Psalms 104 and 14. He causeth the grass to grow for the cattle, and the herb for the service of man.
And the herb for the service of man. Right, now what was the service that the herb was created for? The herbs were created for the well-being of man. When you go back to Genesis, the first chapter, the Most High said that he created the herbs, the seed. Actually, I'm going to read it. It's in 1 and 29. Genesis 1 and 29, it says, and Most High said, Behold, I have given you every herb bearing seed, which is upon the face of all the earth, and every tree in which is the fruit of a tree yielding seed, to you it shall be for meat. And to every beast of the earth, and to every fowl of the air, and to everything that creepeth upon the earth, wherein there is life, I have given you every green herb for meat, and it was so. Right, so now going all the way back to the ancient times, our ancient ancestors, you know, going back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, when you read the scriptures, they always use herbs. Whenever somebody was sick, they used herbs. And what they would do is, they would go to the elders, all right? They were given a concoction, a herb, medicine, all right? And the word medicine means to cure. So they would give them medicine, and then the elders of the city would pray over that man, and it was up to the will of the Most High whether that man became better or not. But we always use herbs. Now, nowadays, in this modern day system, Esau uses what they call drugs, all right? And a drug, when people think of drugs, a drug in a pharmacy is the same thing as a drug you get out on the street corner.
Yep.
Cocaine, matter of fact, a lot of the drugs you get on the street corner, they use them in the medical industry. A perfect example of that is heroin. All right, heroin in the medical industry is known as morphine. That's a medical name for it. Now, the only reason why they go after these jakes out here is because Esau wants to have the whole thing on the wraps. He wants to have complete control over the drugs, and he wants to get all the money that's coming in for the drugs.
And if I can say something real quick. And the thing with the illegal drugs is when you put in people's face that there's something bad or negative to do, the price of it goes up greatly. Like during the time of Prohibition, during the time of the 1920s, 30s with the Al Capone and all those guys selling liquor, the price of liquor jumped. As soon as they legalized it, crime went down, and then the prices went down as well. Just like the drugs out here now. Cocaine and all that, which they bring in, but they make it illegal or somewhat bad to do, and people like to do things that are naughty or things that they're not supposed to do. So it makes the price and the value of it that much higher.
And now that you spoke about cocaine, right? Now, don't you know cocaine was actually a so-called, now they make it, okay, it's a bad drug. We catch you with a key of coke, you're going to jail because you're the worst person on earth, blah, blah, blah. In other words, they make it out, they take these drugs, and Esau, he'll either demonize it or he'll glorify it, depending on which way is going to make him more money. Exactly. Now, don't you know cocaine? This guy, Sigmund Freud, who's a so-called great man in history. Don't you know this dude was a cokehead? And that he was making a movement. Not only him, there's a lot of so-called great thinkers in history that have taken cocaine and they used it themselves and they pushed it forward, actually suggested it as a good drug. you know, to relieve pain and to give you energy. You know, it was a so-called wonder drug. But Esau figured out, well, if we demonize a drug and, you know, if we demonize a drug and put it out in the streets and give it to niggas, you know, we can make more money that way.
Exactly.
You know, so that's what happened with that. Now, I don't know if you got a...
Yeah, I'm going to bring out one scripture, but to make out another point, like a lot of those herbs, like cocaine, whether it be marijuana, you could make teas and certain things that'll help you. Like they use it now for cataracts and certain other ailments. But if you drink it as an herbal tea, anytime you inject or if you smoke, it releases toxins and it takes away the medicine purpose of it and make it poison to your system. So certain ways that you use certain things, it'll be good for you. I think even if you add I think garlic directly to your bloodstream, it becomes poison. But if you ingest it, it's well for you.
Right, because the herbs are not meant to be smoked. All right, the law that the Most High gave us was that the herbs were for meat. Now you mentioned about we were talking about cocaine, and you mentioned about using the leaves. Now before cocaine in the ancient days, when it was first discovered by Esau, you know, our people knew about cocaine, so-called cocaine. We didn't call it cocaine. You know, the medicinal properties we got from it was from the cocoa leaves.
Yep.
All right, the you know, ancient brothers over there in South and Central America, and even the Gadites over here, they used to chew the leaves of the cocoa leaf, and it would give them energy, and you know, it would help with other ailments. So the leaves are to be smoked. Even so-called marijuana, you're not supposed to smoke that shit. Now you're not supposed to use it, you know, for so-called leisure purposes. But if you have a loss of appetite and certain other ailments, you can make a tea out of it. All right, you could cook with it. It does have many uses, but you're not supposed to smoke it. All right.
And if I can say this, natural herbs. Not a lot of the stuff that you get now off these streets have a lot of toxins put in it. Like marijuana nowadays, the chemicals Esau put in it, being the devil that they are, they said it's 10 times more addictive than heroin. So that's not natural. That's old cosmetic synthetic drug. You don't use that stuff. Now if you grow natural leaf out of a plant and everything, you make a tea out of it, then you could drink it. I got a quick scripture for you. This is Wisdom of Solomon 7, and I start from 15 going down into 20. It's going to be quick. The Most High have granted me to speak as I would to conceive is meet for the things that are given me. Because it is he that leadeth unto wisdom and directeth the wise. For in his hand are both we and our words, and all wisdom also, and knowledge of workmanship. For he hath given me certain knowledge of the things that are, namely, to know how the world was made in the operation of the elements, the beginning, ending, in the midst of times, the alteration of the turning of the sun, the change of season, the circuits of years, and the position of the stars, the natures of living creatures, and the furies of wild beasts, the violence of winds, and the reasoning of men, the diversity of plants, and the virtues of roots.
Right, what Esau calls, what they call it, botany, which is a study of plants. Man, going all the way back to the time of Adam, our people, the Israelites, we knew how to use the plants and what their purposes was for. Now, you can use a plant for healing, all right, which is where the word physician comes from. If you look up the word physician in the Hebrew, it's rapah, which means healing or healer, all right? Nowadays, you got doctors. The word doctor, when you look that up, the word doctor means to falsify. You know, like if you doctor up a document, you make it false. So these doctors that are set up out here, they're not set up to actually heal you, because what they give you is they give you drugs. These drugs are termed allopathic medicines. Now the word allopathic breaks down to allo, which means different or other, and pathic comes from pathos, which means suffering. So it literally means other sufferings, and this was actually a term of mockery that was given. And I can't remember the name of the guy, but there's a guy who studied homeopathic, which is a more alternative form of medicine. And basically what that does, homeopathic medicines, it deals with the body as a whole. You know, and that's where herbs, because when you take an herb, even if it's for a specific, let's say, part of your body or specific illness, is beneficial for the whole entire body. Now with these allopathic medicines, they might just target, let's say you got a problem with your heart or your liver, it might so-called target that one area, but when you take that drug, number one, it doesn't cure the illness, all right? It just, what do you call it,
it puts it treats it.
Yeah, it treats it. In other words, it kind of numbnifies it so you don't feel the pain, but it doesn't actually cure it, all right? And then you get side effects. So you might be taking medicine for a headache, but the side effects are brain hemorrhage or a bad heart or your liver may explode. That's what allopathic means, other sufferings. You take medicine for one thing and it causes another suffering.
Now you know that the Lord have us doing these videos for the elect out there. We don't care about the average or all these dummies out there. Now you brothers that's in the know, common sense, when you watch any of these drug commercials, where it could be from Cialis to what you call that, allergy medicine. When you take it, you listen to them carefully. They give the disclaimer at the end of the commercial. Here it is, it's supposed to just get rid of your elbow from hurting, and they'll tell you that you might get a bloody nose, runny stool, or diarrhea, may cause death, blindness, and other side effects. So that's the disclaimer to have you on that drugs. So that's why you got to pay attention. Now, as for you brothers out there going to Revelations 3 and 18, when the Lord said he shall give you eyesight to see. So that's why the Spirit jumped on me and his brother to bring out these things.
Abilify is not for everyone. Call your doctor if your depression worsens or you have unusual changes in behavior or thoughts of suicide. Antidepressants can increase these in children, teens, and young adults. Elderly dementia patients taking Abilify have an increased risk of death or stroke. Call your doctor if you have high fever, stiff muscles, and confusion to address a possible life-threatening condition. Or if you have uncontrollable muscle movements, as these could become permanent. High blood sugar has been reported with Abilify and medicines like it. In some cases, extreme high blood sugar can lead to coma or death. Other risks include decreases in white blood cells, which can be serious, dizziness upon standing, seizures, trouble swallowing, and impaired judgment or motor skills.
Adding Abilify has made a difference for me.